This is MIP. Get woke.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Montgomery, he is there covering the opening of the National Memorial for Peace and Justice and the opening of the Legacy Museum down in Montgomery. The National Memorial, of course, memorializing those who were victims of lynchings in the course of American history. The Legacy Museum dealing with slavery and mass incarceration. Roland Martin joins us now. My brother, how are you?
I'm doing great, Doc. How you doing?
Just fine, doctor. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, how long have you been in Atlanta? Have you had a chance in Montgomery, have you had a chance to actually go and visit the museum yet?
Not yet. It's going to happen today.
Okay. Tell us a bit about the scene down there and what people can expect to find today.
Well, first of all, folks from all over are going to be there for the opening ceremonies in the dayside. And in just a couple of hours, the talk sessions are going to start. It's going to be 10 a.m. Local time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Michelle Alexander, Sherilyn Eiffel, and others, Reverend Barber, Ava DuVernay. So you have sessions taking place all throughout the day, and then you, of course, that's taking place at the Performing Arts Center, and then, of course, at 6:30 p.m. local time, you have the dedication taking place at Montgomery Convention Center, and then, of course, you have those sessions taking place again tomorrow. Former Vice President Al Gore is going to be one of the speakers tomorrow as well. And then, of course, tomorrow night you have this massive concert. Usher, you have The Roots, you have John Legend, a number of people. That's going to be live stream on Tidal. That's going to be tomorrow night taking place. So you have all of those things taking place for them. And, of course, the Equal Justice Institute, of course, which is putting this whole thing on. And, it's very interesting because I flew into Birmingham, and so many people who were on the plane, are you heading to EGI? Are you heading to EGI? Are you heading to EGI? And I said, yes. And then, of course, here in Birmingham, so many people are talking about it. Birmingham is only about an hour and 15 minutes or so from Montgomery. And it really is something that I think is quite interesting and remarkable when you start thinking about this nation and how it recognizes painful parts of its past. Just on Monday, it was a state holiday, Confederate Memorial Day here in Alabama.
Jesus.
And to show you how Alabama is, Alabama actually has 3 days a year where it recognized Confederate heroes. This is a state that is still in love with the Confederacy. It is a state that combined Robert E. Lee Day, put it on the same day as Martin Luther King Day. And then, of course, they also have a separate day in June for a person who I call America's greatest traitor, America's greatest domestic terrorist, Jefferson Davis, his birthday. And this nation has never dealt with its past. It has always wanted to gloss over to move on, and I think this is one of the reasons why you still have the issues we face today. And it is also the reason why you have these clueless black people like Kanye West,
Jesus,
who makes the sort of the comments he sort of makes, and why you have people like Candace Owens, a sister who is sort of the same thing. And let me be real clear, Mark. And this is critically important. People go, you don't like black conservatives. I know people like Kay James, J.C. Watts, Elroy Saylor. I know Michael Williams. I know Alfonso Jackson. I know Bob Brown, who was one of the aides to Dr. King. I mean, I know lots of black conservatives. I know black Republicans. But these are black Republicans who don't believe in going on television insulting black people. trashing black people who play these games.
Mm-hmm.
But you have these other people, man, who are playing to white audiences by dissing us in our history. And I think sometimes we got to always speak out and call out those folks.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Kanye has lost his ever-loving mind, and it's really a tremendous contrast. You are where you are today. There's this never before. We've never seen anything like it in terms of a memorial to the victims of lynching unveiled here in America, in the Deep South, where a lot of this happened. And you got a fool on Twitter saying the things he's saying. I know if our mutual mentor Dick Gregory was around, I know what he'd be saying right now. He'd probably be saying the government put Kanye up to it. But to even distract people from this great event taking place. How significant too is it, Roland, that this is happening in the South, in Montgomery? Brian and I were talking. Brian was on the show day before yesterday, and he said how a lot of people said, well, why don't you put it in Washington? And of course, we discussed why everything can't be in Washington and shouldn't be. But from your point of view, how important is it that this is being unveiled and built right in the Deep South?
Well, yesterday when we flew in, we went by the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. Mm-hmm. And we stopped by 16th Street Baptist Church and St. Paul United Methodist Church, A.G. Gaston Hotel. And my videographer had never been to Alabama, black guy, and he had never been here. And I said, okay, we're going to stop by these places. And look, man, here's a black guy who's older than me. He's 52 years old. Mm-hmm. And I said, I want you to see these places. We stopped by Kelly Ingram Park, where those black children, the child crusaders, were attacked by dogs, and water hoses, and fire cannons, right, by Bull Connor and his thuggish racists. And I'm like, I said, this is sacred ground. It's important to see it. It's important if you go to Montgomery, not just, even if you're going for this memorial, to stop by Dexter Avenue, to stop by Dr. King's parsonage, to stop then, because sacred ground.
Yeah.
These places, this is our Holocaust.
Yeah.
So if you talk about Auschwitz, if you talk about the places there, this is it. It's vital because this is where it took place. I can tell you, Mark, and people, and I'll give you an example of Memphis. When I was in Memphis, I was there in March, and they allowed us to go shoot on the balcony. And bro, this is so eerie. The section where Dr. King was assassinated, where, of course, he was standing up and his body fell back. Mark, I literally, I could not walk, Mark. I couldn't walk on that spot.
Yeah.
I actually put my body, my back against the wall, and I sort of just sidestepped because I had to walk, past, around that spot. And my photographers, when they were shooting, they were just, they were getting gear and they were stuff and they were walking. And I literally said, you can't stand there.
Yeah.
And they were very, and it was something. I could not stand on that spot. That's how I felt at 16th Street Baptist Church. This is sacred ground for us. We can't operate in sort of, as you said, but if it's in D.C., it's detached. No. This is where it happened. Mm-hmm. And I think we have to remind people, Jews said, never forget.
That's right.
Never again, never forget. And it has to be the same thing. And I think people forget that white supremacy was so powerful and is so powerful that it caused us to even hate to acknowledge what took place.
Yeah.
And even a lot of black folks, man, just move on. Well, I can't move on, and that's why I think back the night Obama won in 2008. Somebody when I was shedding tears on CNN, everybody forget I wasn't shedding tears because Obama won. I said that night, I shed tears because the first image that came into my mind when CNN reflashed President-elect Barack Obama, the first image came into my mind, Mark, was black soldiers being lynched in their uniforms. That's why it has to be in the South, because you got to remember that these are the places where it took place. It was real. Where Selma took place.
Yeah.
Albany took place. Nashville took place. Greensboro, North Carolina took place. You can't remove yourself from where it happened.
Yeah. No, you can't. Speaking of what you described in that experience, Kanye even tweeted, there was a time when slavery was the trend, and apparently that time is still upon us, but now it's a mentality. I mean, he's been knocking our acknowledgement of our history in some of the crazy stuff he's been saying, Roland. But as you said, other cultures don't do that. Other cultures have respect and regard for their history, so you won't forget it, so that history is not repeated. Roland Martin joins us from Montgomery. Folks, the Legacy Museum and the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, a memorial to the victims of lynchings, opening officially today and over the weekend in Montgomery. Roland, now where exactly in Montgomery is this? What part of town is it? Is it prominently located?
It is prominently located. In fact, you'll be able to stand on a spot, and it overlooks state capitol.
Is that right?
But see, here's the thing. I need people to understand. Montgomery is not just the state capitol. The state capitol in Montgomery was also the national capital for the Confederacy.
Right.
See, it serves a dual purpose. See, and that's and again, so for see, this is why people go, yeah, I mean, I don't know why you focus on this stuff in the past. Well, if you don't want me to focus on the past, why do you have Confederate Memorial Day? Why do you have a day honoring Robert E. Lee, a day honoring Jefferson Davis?
Right.
See, why? So you want to focus on the past. Why do you have these memorials? There's a reason. They were done for a reason. When you then look at the policies, see, everybody keep talking. Okay, the Republican Party that was against slavery is in control in Alabama, which tells you that you can't say the party of Lincoln, the grand old party, because the party you are today ain't the party you were then.
No, indeed.
And so you look at the public policy. You look at how Alabama. I thought Republicans hate big government, and they love local control. They passed a law in Alabama saying no local entity can take down Confederate memorials.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I thought you liked local control. When you begin to look at the public policy, when you begin to look at how folks are sentenced in Alabama today, you're still dealing with a peonage system in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's all tied together. Our past informs our present, and I think too many people want to live in denial.
Most certainly. Folks, Roland Martin is down in Montgomery for the opening today. Now, Roland, are you going to be streaming today?
Well, they were not allowed to. So I had asked them about streaming panels.
Okay.
And then streaming the opening ceremony, and they said that wasn't allowed. And because I told them, I said, if you can't be in Montgomery, how can you actually participate?
Right.
And so we'll be recording.
Okay.
a number of stuff, and then I'm gonna put that together and live stream it later so people can experience exactly what took place. Congressman John Lewis will be here to be one of the folks speaking at the dedication this evening.
Yeah.
And it is just, I just think that as Mark, we're 25 years away from when this nation will be majority people of color, and by 2043. And so many folks, they always, oh man, why you bring that stuff up? And I tell them, I said, well, first, I don't bring it up. It's always in my face.
That's right. That's right.
I'm informed by. I don't bring it up. I mean, I'm informed by our past, and if you misunderstand your present,
right,
and you have no clue where you're going in your future, well, you're supposed to look at your past.
That's right.
And again, America has always been in denial. America has always tried to just gloss over, ease over, jump over all of that. And I tell people all the time, no. You got to own that.
Yeah.
243 years of slavery, 12 years of Reconstruction, 92 years of Jim Crow. No. You got to own that. And it blows people away, man. And when I tell them, I said, if you use 1970 as the marker, Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, Fair Housing Act, those critical things, King gets killed in 68. I said, if you use 1970 as the marker when black folks were technically fully free, that means that we've only been technically fully free 48 years.
Yeah. That's
48
right.
years. I'll be 50 in November, which means I was born into an America where I was not technically fully free.
Yeah.
That puts it in perspective.
Yeah, you're right. We're still in the first generation of our so-called freedom, folks. Follow Roland Martin on all of his social media. It's easy to find Roland Martin, Roland S. Martin on Twitter, Roland Martin on YouTube, Facebook, everything. He'll be gathering footage of this historic event, and you all can watch it in the days to come. Roland, give everyone my regards. Thanks for being there, my brother. Wish I could be there with you. Great work, though. Okay.
Understand, bro.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Stay up, man. All right. Roland S. Martin, folks. We'll be back. Sirius XM Progress 127 Resistance Radio. Get woke, get ready for impeachment. This is MI.